All right, we're back once again for another edition of Ask Glazer with Jay Glazer. Happy playoffs, my man. How are you?
I like it, man. Happy playoffs.
Okay, you tipped us off to this last week on Fox. Bill Belichick on his way out in New England. That is official now.
Yep.
So we might as well see where you can take us with this story so far. The question is, can Jarod Mayo really fix the Pats? And then the second half of that, do you have an inkling on where Bill Belichick might be coaching moving forward?
Well, the Pats, they still have, look, they need a quarterback still. There's still a lot of things that they have to do personnel-wise to kind of build that place up. I can tell you this, when Mayo interviewed down in Philadelphia, he blew him out of the water, crushed a few years ago. So I think the Krafts look at it and said, okay, he's going to be the heir apparent. We already know who we want in there. But that's big shoes to fill. You know what? Whenever you fill the shoes of a legend, a lot of times some of your players just automatically go, well, that's not how Bill would have done it, or Bill would have done it this way, or Bill would have done it that way. And you got to fight a lot of that. But, yeah, I mean, Mayo has he's a good young rising star in this league. So they do need a lot more personnel pieces, though, to help him out. Now, as far as where Bill goes, I've always thought Atlanta since the start of it. I thought early on, I thought also like they're the first ones to make a fire in Arthur Smith,
right,
and then didn't put a slip in for anybody else. And no one realized it. Like they didn't put a slip in until, much
Do you
later.
think, like, are they trying to throw people off the scent by putting in slips since then? Like,
well, I think they got to prepare themselves no matter what. And you have to interview a certain amount of people anyway.
right.
So they can't just go get Bill and that's that. And I do know that they're fishing around for other things as well. But I think that a guy like Belichick, yeah, he's certainly on the radar. I think when I was told that Arthur Blank wanted to go big game hunting, and he wants a big name in there.
Okay, I don't know.
But I think Washington also kind of looking at him. I think all these openings, I know that they've discussed Bill.
So, and I was doing it too. It was so easy to connect the dots of Mike Vrabel potentially winding up in New England because that's where he played.
Yep.
Obviously, that's not going to be the case. So the question from Brad,
I think we all thought that, but there's a deal in place already for Mayo in there, which the owner still could have said, okay, you know what, we're going to pay it anyway and then pay Vrabel. So I was a little surprised that didn't happen. Yeah.
What do you think that means for Vrabel? And specifically, this listener viewer wants to know if he has any potential in Carolina, but really anywhere that you might have heard as far as Mike Vrabel goes.
I haven't heard anything with Vrabel yet. Again, I thought everybody thought he was going to go to New England, and that didn't happen.
It was just so easy, you know?
Yeah, of course. It made all sense. Man, as far as Carolina and him, that'd be an interesting one. I think how he would get along with the owner down there.
Personalities maybe involved there, some strong personalities.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting one.
As we're recording this, the Eagles haven't played Tampa Bay, so we'll see how it goes, obviously, but just such a striking end to their season, the way that it's kind of fallen apart. If they lose, I mean, it seems like there's going to be changes regardless, but where do you think Nick Sirianni stands with ownership in Philly if they just completely fall off?
I think he's good. I don't think he goes anywhere. He's done a really great job in the last couple of years. The problem there with the Eagles, like when you have adversity, you don't really get grace. Like other places, they have bad games. Like the 49ers, they get, smashed by the Ravens, and it's just like, okay, adversity is a gift. We take our butt whippings like a man, we go back, and all of a sudden, bam, they come back and play great. There are a lot of teams that are able to bounce back and do that. At Philadelphia, there's no such thing as like a little molehill. Everything's a mountain in there. It becomes a lot, and it becomes heavier and heavier, whoever's coaching in there. And this same organization, they got Andy Reid out, they got Doug Peterson after, winning a Super Bowl, and I think Nick's going through a similar thing.
Yeah, it is. It speaks to the passion there that a year removed from a Super Bowl. I'm interested to see how that goes. I would imagine, with the run that they've put together, he would be fine. But it's going to be an interesting conversation if there's. I am not
hearing that he's out.
Fair enough. Then the last one for you. Last time I talked to you, Jim Harbaugh hadn't played for a national championship yet. He has now won it for Michigan, but not a lot of movement on the front of where his future lies than.
I think there is Chargers. Yeah, the Charger. He'll go out there and interview, I think, next week. He's been linked to the Raiders, but Chargers makes an awful lot of sense. What he could do with Justin Herbert and, having, just for the area. Plus, I love the Chargers job, too, because they're opening up. People out there, they don't know what El Segundo is. It's a little beach town over here.
Not too shabby.
It's fantastic. They're opening up this incredible training facility and headquarters over there. It's going to be amazing. Like, waking up and going to work there is going to be amazing. So I think he's a great fit over there. They're still looking for GM candidates, too, like which GM candidate will work with him. But I think that's the That would be the front runner right now for him.
LA Chargers, that would be a heck of a lot of fun. We'll see how it goes. I imagine as more teams start getting eliminated from the postseason, maybe you'll see some of this stuff.
You'll see a couple more surprises here too. So you good.
What a teaser from our own Jay Glazer. I can't wait to see where this leads. Thanks for the time, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.